Hey guys, it's me Ava and welcome to another video. In this week's video, I'm going to be making a maxi skirt. If you are a short girl like me, for reference, I'm 4'11", then you know it is extremely hard to find literally any bottoms that fit you well, especially lengthwise. I can never find jeans, any sort of pants or whatever. And recently, since summer has started, I've been looking around in stores for like cute maxi skirts, but every single one that I can't even try them on. Like, I just hold them up against me and they're like dragging on the floor. So they're all way too long for me. And it's really disappointing because I think maxi skirts are really cute. I've been seeing them all over my TikTok and my Pinterest, and I think they're so cute. And I really want to be a maxi skirt girly, but I'm just too short. So instead of buying one for an insane price and it not even fitting me, I'm just gonna make my own. So yesterday I went to Joann Fabrics. I had a gift card from there. And I bought like this white fabric. I forgot what it was called. I think it was like called gauze fabric. Actually, I think I have my receipt here that says what it is. It's called the Zan Bright White Bubble Gauze. Anyway, it was like $16-17 for it, and I got 1.5 yards, which is more than I need. Like, it's a lot of fabric, like you can see, it's more than enough, and this is folded. But I do want to see if I can make other things out of it besides just a skirt. I want to see if I can make like a matching top with it, or maybe even some shorts or something, because I have beach pants that are made of, I think, the same material or very similar material to this, so I think it'll be really cute in matching my outfits, So I'm gonna make a white maxi skirt out of this fabric, and possibly another thing, but mainly this video is gonna focus on the maxi skirts. So I've been deep diving, blah blah, on Pinterest, and I found some cute ideas. I think I want to make it like a 4-tiered maxi skirt, or like 4 sections. Anyway, so I've been looking on YouTube for some tutorials. So I think I have a tutorial that I'm gonna follow for my maxi skirt. And yeah, let's just get on with the video. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm measuring out the fabric and marking and cutting the pieces that I need. And I'm going to leave a little photo of the measurements that I made for each tier. I made a 4-tiered skirt for reference of my measurements. I'm 4'11", and for like the length of the skirt, I wanted it to be 80 centimeters long, and then I measured my hip, which was 74 centimeters, and then the measurements that I had for that, if you follow the pattern on the notes that I had for the first tier, it was 54 centimeters by 26 centimeters. The second tier was 80 centimeters by 24 centimeters. The third tier was 119 centimeters by 26 centimeters. And the bottom tier was 177.5 centimeters by 29 centimeters. And for the entire project, you're going to need probably around 3 yards of fabric, and you might need even up to 4 or 4.5, depending on how tall you are, but I'm pretty short, so I originally bought 1.5 yards, but it was not nowhere near enough, so I had to go back and buy an additional 2 yards, so technically altogether it was 3.5, but there was still a lot of leftover. I also forgot to mention, you're gonna also, for the lining, I got a pretty see-through fabric, so I added lining to mine, and basically it's just the exact same measurements as the first tier. But anyway, here I'm ironing out all the pieces, and honestly, whenever doing any sewing project, ironing is like the most important thing. It just helps your fabric lay flat. It helps the seams stay flat after you sew them together, and it just makes everything neater. The fabric was kind of crinkly when I got it and cut it up. So I'm just ironing each tier before I even start to sew them together. So yeah. So I'm sewing the front and the back of all the tiers together to like combine them on the side. And basically I'm doing a French seam. So for those of you who don't know what a French seam is, instead of sewing with right sides together, you sew wrong sides together, and then you trim it and iron it, and then you turn it right sides together and then sew it again, and it will give you a pretty clean finish, at least compared to just doing a regular seam and then, you know, not just having the frayed edges, you know, especially if you don't have a serger. At this point in time, I didn't have enough fabric for either my lining or my last tier. So here, instead of sewing the first and the second together, I'm sewing the second tier and the third tier together. So right here, I'm sewing a basting stitch along the third tier, and basically a basting stitch is just like a really loose stitch. You just put your setting to the longest, like your stitch length to the longest setting. I had it at 4, and you just sew a straight line basically. And then that allows you to pull, if you pull the bottom string of your basting stitch, it will allow the fabric to gather to create a nice gather. I've never done this method before, but it works pretty well. So yeah. So now that I've completed the basting stitch, I've attached the 2 tiers together, and obviously the second tier is going to be a lot shorter than the third tier. So then I look at the basting stitch and I try to figure out which one is the bottom string, and basically to find the bottom string is just whatever pulls. Also, you can see my dogs fighting right next to me. What a pretty sight, you know. Anyway, so I just pull on the string to gather the fabric, and then I pin like the corners of the skirt together so that way it's even. I also put a pin on the halfway marker so that way I don't get lost in the bundle of fabric, and it helps me stay more organized. Also, you can also see my siblings walking around and about in the background, which is great. So yeah, so basically I'm just pulling on the string to gather the fabric, moving it down the line, and then pinning it in place so that way it looks nice and even. And then basically I do this for all the layers. I attach the first to the second, second to the third, third to the fourth, using the same basting stitch on the longer tier, pulling the basting stitch, pinning it, and then I will show you right now when I go and sew it. So as you can see here, I'm sewing the second layer to the third layer. I have everything pinned how I want it to look. I'm also sewing the French seam for in between the tiers. I sew it with the wrong sides together, then I trim the excess fabric. I iron it down on both sides, and then I turn it right sides together and sew it to get a nice clean finish, and I do that for all of the tiers. So I have 3 tiers sewn on right now, and this is what it looks like. I love it so much. I still haven't sewn the waistband yet, so it's going to go up and it's going to be like shorter, I guess, here. And on the floor is the last tier, but I'm scared that I cut it too long, and that way it's going to look like ugly when I sew it on. Also, I'm scared that I'm going to mess up during the waistband and the final hem, but this is how it looks right now, which I love it. I mean, like, look at it, look at the front, like, what the heck, the sides, the back, like, it's so amazing. I love it so much. So I'm so scared of messing up, but I just have to like go through with it and like finish it. So I really hope that it turns out good. So I didn't film it, but I did like ruche the last one. I did like the basting stitch or whatever, so I'm gonna pull that to make like the ruffle, whatever, and then sew it on, and hopefully it goes good. So let's see. Okay guys, so I have the skirt and I have it turned inside out. And I'm gonna fold it in. I think I wanted to do 1 centimeter, but I think I'm gonna have to do 2 because the ends are kind of uneven. So I'm gonna fold it in 2 centimeters. And then iron it. So I fold it in 2 centimeters all around the edges, and I'm taking my little measuring tape and just taking the skirt, measuring 2 centimeters, folding it down and ironing it in place. And then I'm gonna do that all the way around the skirt. So I finished with the 2 centimeter hem around it. So then I'm going to fold it in again, which that's gonna be the little tunnel for the waistband. So I'm going to fold it in 4 centimeters and then do that all the way around the skirt to make a little tunnel for my elastic to go into. My elastic was 2.5 centimeters wide, and I think 4 centimeters like for folding it down and ironing it. I think that was the perfect amount to give me seam allowance, and so that way the elastic fit perfectly and I didn't struggle when I was pulling the elastic through the skirt. So anyway, I'm just going all around and ironing down the 4 centimeters. So yeah.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time.
Okay, so I cut the elastic to a good measurement around my waist and hip, and then I cut it like so, do a little stretch but not too much, and yeah, so that will be good. So I have my hole here, and then I'm just gonna thread it through. I have this little safety pin on it to help me thread the elastic through.
As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs. For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. For all time's sake.
I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
So the music ended, and I decided I haven't talked in a bit, so I'm gonna talk anyway. Just pulling the elastic through the end, and then basically after I do that, I'm gonna sew the 2 pieces of elastic together to make sure they're good, and then I'm going to seal the waistband, and then here I am. I'm just hemming the bottom of the dress, and I'm gonna do that all the way around. Okay guys, this is the finished skirt. I literally love it. It looks amazing. I am actually so surprised. It looks so good. And even like the inside seams look so well finished. Like, do you see that? Like the seams on the inside look good. The hem looks really good, and I normally don't do good hems. Like, Look at that. It's amazing. This inside seams look good. It looks professionally done. The waistband looks really good. Alright guys, so this is the outro. The video is ending. I'm wearing the skirt right now and I love it. I hope you guys liked this video. And honestly, I love sewing and I want to do a lot more sewing videos. So I will definitely have more. This is definitely not the last sewing video to come. I love sewing, so I'm obsessed with this skirt. Honestly, I would say this is probably the first sewing project that I've ever actually loved that looks like wearable in public. And like even like the seams look professional. The hem looks really good. The inside of the hem not so much, but the outside of the hem looks very good. The seams look very good. The outside looks phenomenal. I mean, it fits me perfectly, like perfect length, perfect around my waist, like everything. And I'm so proud of myself, so happy. And I will like put down the channel whose tutorial I followed in my description. And I will say comment, but lately my comments have been turned off. But if they're still open, you can comment what you want to see next, because I do want to like give you guys what you want to see, you know. But I will say you can always go to my TikTok or my Instagram and you can comment on any of my posts, whether what you want to see on my Instagram, what you want to see on my TikTok, or what you want to see on my YouTube. Or also you can go to my YouTube community page, but please comment if you can, either what you want to see, just any feedback, or literally anything, just so I know, like, you know, because I want to get to know you guys better, and the best way for us to kind of build like the YouTube bond is to comment through comments, you know. And then obviously I would very much appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody has a good day and a good week. Bye guys.